Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's Friday, July 31st, 2026. We're very glad you're with us this morning. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading this group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me in person, I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, also known as the PIT crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda this morning, we'd like to start off the meeting with good news. So we'll start out with success stories, then go to 30-second introductions for everybody here in the room, and then we'll go to 30-second introductions for everybody who's online with us this morning. We'll then share job leads if any of the recruiters are online, then hear from the Interview Success Workshop, the practice interview team, and career tip of the week, and then we'll have our main event about at the top of the hour. I'd like to start the meeting off with good news. Successes, we have donuts. So the donut provider, please come up and tell us your good news. Just.
How about right here? That's great. Do I want to face the camera or do I want to face the... I'll do both.
Thanks for thinking about us over here.
Morning, everyone. My name is John Hamer, and I have landed. So I found I'll be a project manager with Verizon Network Services, Verizon Business. Basically, it's my old job that I had for 7 years, and so it's a different team, but basically the same job. I found it through. Actually, a recruiter contacted me, but I got the interviews through networking from my old boss. My old boss has been pasting my resume all over Verizon to anyone and everyone who will talk to me. And actually, this was a peer of hers in a different group. So I made my list. Okay, so I did a horrible job yesterday at Southlake. Company. Oh, so the time, about a month between the first contact, because the recruiter found out the job rec was going to be opened. So it wasn't even approved yet, and he was already calling me because of my background and my experience. The time between the interview and the job offer was 6 days, right? So it happened that fast. How I found the job, right? Recruiter contacted me, and networking, number of interviews, 1 interview, right? That's all they needed. Length of time, what I learned. Oh, so much I've learned from the job search. Well, hang out with Walt, hang out with Jeff, Southlake Focus Group, PIT crew, all the things but I'll go through my list. First, I want to thank God for watching over me, providing support and a path forward. That's most important. And I thank all of my friends and my former coworkers who've reached out to me during this process for encouragement and job leads or 10, right? So keep your strong network. Had a lot of people give me a lot of job leads. Jeff, Walt, folks from the Career Focus Group, Foster Williams and the team at Frisco Connect, which is next Tuesday morning. Pete, Alvin, Larry, and the rest of the team from Southlake Focus Group for providing programs, resources, networking, and then the PIT crew here, Ron Layton, John Ernett, and all the volunteers, Walt, for the PIT crew. A great exposure, great practice there. And my fantastic accountability team, who meets right across the street here at the McDonald's at 8 o'clock every Friday morning. Super easy to get to. And over 80%, this is taking too long, over 80% of us have landed. Okay, we're down to like 3 people left in the group, and we started with 6 or 7. Here we got another one here, and we've got Mike there, and myself who's going to be gone. Sally, everybody knows Sally and all those folks. Mike Sapna, Robert Kerberg, Lindley Schroeder. She landed almost immediately. So again, thanks to everyone. Thanks for all your support. I'm John Hamer, and I've landed.
All right. Anybody else? Any other good news to share from anybody? Anyone online?
Good morning, everyone. This is Walt. Yeah, I have 3 that I can tell. I don't know if they've announced elsewhere before. I haven't heard. The first is Katie Kaiser. She's landed as a communications vice president at Kentex Capital, which is a commercial real estate investment firm. Thomas Bledsoe, I think a lot of you know Thomas Bledsoe. I don't know his job title. He landed at Mincer, Sorowitz, Zeres, and Willis. Yes, it is a legal firm. He started just a few days ago, but it's it's a large firm. And then Monica Crisales, she's a brand manager at Ruiz Foods, and she used to work for Mission Foods, which was buy it and take it home and cook it. And now she's at Ruiz Foods, where you heat it and eat it. So it's still, Mexican food, but she's different brand manager. So it's pretty interesting. She moves from one company, but they don't compete in the market. It's the same food, but it's a different one. Anyway, those are the 3 that I have.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Anyone else? All right. For everybody who's online, if you will, please open up the chat window. It's the very little bar at the very bottom of your screen. Open up the chat window. Give us your name, the position you're looking for, 2 or 3 target companies we may be able to help you with, your email, your LinkedIn address, your phone and city if you'd like. And if you have companies that you can help other people, please list those and let everybody know. So I'll give everybody 30 seconds on the clock to get started. Go back downstairs for somebody at the door. Thank you. All right, if you're still typing, keep on, get your information in there. That way I can update the roster with everybody's information, and everybody will get a copy of the chat window tomorrow when I send that out in the weekly email. All right, what we want to do now is go ahead and do in-person interviews for 30-second introductions for those people who are here in the room. So if you will, come on down, grab the microphone, and give us your 30-second introduction. Come on down. Yes, everybody. Nobody wants to be first. Just flip the little switch on.
Good morning. My name is Donna Bellamy, Director, VP of Marketing. I translate consumer insights and data into revenue-driven marketing strategies. My contacts, I need contacts at Expedia Group, Mars Pet Care, and Chewy would be the biggest ones. And I have contacts available at any of the agencies within the Omnicom Group. I'm Donna Bellamy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Todd Haney. I'm looking for a customer success and experience specialist position. I need contacts at Power School, and the other one has blanked on me. I have contacts to the Association of Talent Development, the Dallas chapter. I'm on the board and can help if you're in learning and development roles. My name is Todd Haney.
Thank you.
My name is Doug Maxim. I am looking for opportunities as a cybersecurity third-party risk manager or senior analyst. I need contacts at Lockheed Martin. I have contacts at Raytheon. My name is Doug Maxim.
Good morning. My name is David Turner. I'm an HR systems analyst. I've controlled access to the data of more than 30,000 employees across 86 countries using my expertise in SAP SuccessFactors. I could use a contact at Baylor Scott and White Health Systems. My name is David Turner.
Thank you, David.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I'm looking for a director above role in data product management. My tagline is that I help companies ring their performance bell by managing products that convert data into dollars. Specifically looking for contacts at 7-Eleven, Keurig Dr. Pepper, or Hershey. So I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. My name is Mike Belzil.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry. My name is Chad Jackson. I'm a software engineering transformation leader, director VP. I help organizations in complex situations like post-acquisition and technology modernization become more scalable. I also help deploy AI engineering processes. I'm looking for the same kind of role, industry agnostic. I need contacts at Topgolf, and I have contacts at many different defense contracting companies, in particular Rockwell Collins, which is now Collins Aerospace. My name is Chad Jackson.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Florence Hogan, and I am a market intelligence and strategic insights leader. And I am this week pursuing positions at TIAA. I'm interested in contacts at State Farm, as well as EY and USAA. Again, my name is Florence Hogan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I am David Watrous. I'm looking for a vice president of sales or sales director role. I'm a proactive sales leader dedicated to increasing revenues, market share, and net profits. I need contacts within Goldman Sachs, Fisher Financial, and T-Mobile. I can help with contacts within Verizon wireless enterprise sales, and also with Charter Spectrum, again, enterprise mid-market sales. And all those IT people, please go look at Goldman Sachs right now. There is about 170 IT role positions posted in Dallas and Plano. Thank you.
Hi all, I'm Rupa here. I've been working as a business and systems analyst for almost 12 years. I need contacts in different sectors, banking, retail, and also not-for-profit. One more ask is that I need a very good contact with the Baylor Scott and White, the hospital, because I was trying to be a volunteer. I tried to reach them a couple of times. I don't have much contacts. I'm sorry, I'm very new to this country. I'm originally from India. I'm Rupa here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Simrad. I'm a staff accountant and it's been for a while, for months. I'm looking for new opportunities. And this week I applied for a role at City of Plano. I had my second interview with Stonebridge Hospitality. And today I'm gonna have my first round of interview with Anderson Merchandise Corporate, and I need contact with these companies. Please, anyone has contact with them, help me. Please help me because it's been for a while, for long term. I'm looking for a new opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops. Hi, my name's Kim Nagley, and I'm looking for a job in sales. I formerly did B2B sales at Southwest Wholesale Nursery and did that for about 10 years. And then prior to that, for about 15 years, I was the senior purchasing manager at JCP Media, and I bought all the catalog, insert, direct mail paper. So might do supply chain too, purchasing, things like that. As far as contacts, well, this is my first time at this organization, and one of the guys I swim with at Pegasus Master said, Kim, you got to look these people up. It was a lifesaver for me, so I'm just starting to get the contacts because I got laid off 2 weeks ago. And again, my name's Kim Nagley.
Great. Okay. Thank you for being here. Right behind you.
Oh, there we go. Uh-huh.
Hello, my name is Kelly Thomas. Excuse me. I am looking for an HR business partner role. I have 15 years of experience in human resources. My past 4 years of experience is as a human resources business partner. I need contacts for DPR construction and any other large construction companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have contacts, gosh, through many human resources channels in the emergency restoration industry, as well as the entertainment industry as well. My name is Kelly Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Weininger, Senior Technical Writer. I'm looking for a technical writing, preferably long-term contract or project hire position. I specialize in developing user guides, any kind of instruction set, procedures, SOPs. I would love to have some contacts at Choctaw Nation, Toyota, Texas Instruments, Raytheon, Lockheed, anyone here local that has a telecommunications and/or networking department. My name is Lisa Weininger. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go to everybody online right now. If you will, please go and raise your hand so that way I know to call on you. And I only will call on you once if you raise your hand. So Steve, I'll let you go first.
Good morning. My name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I'm looking for contacts at Fiserv and the VA. My name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you. Megan.
Hi, good morning. My name is Megan O'Gorman. I am looking for an HR generalist, senior HR generalist role. Not really looking for contacts. I've got an interview a little bit later this morning. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. My name is Megan O'Gorman.
Thank you. William.
Good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin, currently seeking a business analyst role. Two of my target companies include GameStop and Cinemark. And I wanted to let everybody know that we got a massive job fair in Arlington with over 600 employers attending coming up on Thursday. So I will be posting a link in the chat for that. And since I heard nonprofits mentioned earlier, I wanted to let everybody know about another massive networking event in Arlington where the featured networkers are going to be nonprofit people. So whoever mentioned that, I would suggest you attend that event. I will also post a link in the chat for that, along with some other events that people may be interested in attending. Again, happy Friday from the capital of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. My name's William McLaughlin. Have a great one.
Thank you, John.
Good morning. My name is John Werner. I specialize in the systems behind the credit cards and digital payments people use every day. Essentially, I help banks and fintech companies solve the complex operational problems that slow their products down. Right now, I'm exploring program manager opportunities within banking or fintech with a focus on companies like FICO, Synchrony, and PNC. My name is John Werner. Thank you.
Thank you, Rihanna.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rihanna Karjakka. I'm looking for positions for data analyst or program manager, program coordinator. I need contacts at Baylor Scott and White. I've applied to several positions there, but I do not have any contacts there. I have contacts with several healthcare facilities in the DFW area. Once again, my name is Rihanna Kajika. And can you please post the information on the not-for-profit job fair? I'm very interested in that, whoever mentioned that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Danielle.
Hi, my name is Danelle Knight, and I'm looking for an HR director role. I help organizations strengthen their culture, performance, and employee value proposition. I need contacts at Kenview and Abbott. I also previously worked at Fragment, so I have connections there. My name is Danelle Knight.
Thank you. Jeff.
My name is Jeff Grice. I'm a geographic information systems professional. I help organizations manage and leverage their geospatial data to maximize their location intelligence and make the most informed decisions possible. I'm looking for a contact at Range Resources in Fort Worth. My name is Jeff Grice.
Thank you. Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Pujaro, looking for a supply chain job in central New Jersey or remotely. Scott Pujaro.
Thank you. Margaret.
Hi, I'm Margaret Martinez. I'm a learning and development specialist, and I help organizations by creating learning solutions that build stronger leaders and help employees grow. I am looking for a contact at United Texas Bank, Christus Health, or NTTA, and I have contacts at CEC Facilities and Goldman Sachs. I'm Margaret Martinez.
Thank you. Sheldon.
Good morning, everybody. Sheldon Weinstein. I'm a senior sales leader in the consumer packaged goods industry and what I would say is the food or beverage sector. And I've spent my career leading customer sales teams at both large matrix organizations as well as smaller private equity companies. And I'm currently seeking a director to VP level role in a medium-sized food company in that $200 million to $2 billion range. Again, Sheldon Weinstein.
Thank you. Jennifer.
Hi, all. I'm Jennifer Linnane. I am seeking a role as an internal communications professional, which I've been doing for the past several years. I translate complex information and bring clarity to employees when they need it most. Some of my top companies right now are ExxonMobil, Northrop Grumman, and Legends Global in Frisco. I have a contact at Solera. Typically, they have more engineering software data roles. So if anyone wants to check those out, I could possibly get you an employee referral.
Thank you. Anybody else online who I haven't called on yet?
I want to say someone said they were looking for a contact at Top Golf. I've only been joining these events for the past couple weeks. Someone was recently hired on at Top Golf through SFG. So I would ask someone that's always at FSG about Top Golf because someone just got hired there.
Right. And we also had a landing at a Top Golf out of this group about a month ago. So it'll be on the contact list. Rosina.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your Career Tip of the Week host, so I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner, Senior Recruiter, HR Generalist, or HR Specialist position. I need contacts at TIAA Frisco or T-Mobile, and I have contacts at a variety of different companies, so as we connect, feel free to let me know who to introduce you to. Again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner, Senior Recruiter, HR Generalist, or HR Specialist position. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Anybody else online I haven't called on yet? Going once, going twice. All right, we'll move on. Tracy is not with us today, so we'll skip that part of it. Time for the Interview Success Workshop in Walt class.
Here I am again. Before I start on this, I just remembered a couple of things about Monica's Landing. She got an offer, and their range was, she did get an offer, it's kind of towards the top of the range, but still a little bit low for her. But she was able to negotiate a signing bonus. So that's always a possibility. The other thing that was concerning her is that she couldn't start for about 4 to 5 weeks for personal commitments and things that she'd made. So she was successfully able to negotiate a start date. Right. So go for what you need, go for what you want. You can always ask. Worst they can say is no, right? And she might come by and announce, and she said she would bring kolaches or donuts, so don't tell her I announced her already. Okay. So we'll see if she shows up. All right. So my name is Walt Glass, and I love to help people with interviewing skills. I do this in several ways. The first way that I do it is I offer the free interview success workshop. This is a workshop to look at fundamentals of selling ourselves. There's 3 parts to it. We sell who we are, our personality, soft skills, characteristics, what we do, how we do it, background, skills, expertise, experience, and how we combine those to say, and here's how I can help you. The I can help you is the most frequently omitted part of the job description and the interview, which is their main purpose in bringing us on board. So if you're interested in participating, have to email me to my Yahoo email address. Look at my LinkedIn page. The About section talks about the workshop. I can get you registered. I do it 2 people at a time. You interview each other. I give you the 12 basic categories, a selected question out of each, and then we discuss categories. We look at approaches. We look at structures. We look at options, how we adjust that particular category. So glad to have you participate. With that, I'm also a panelist on the pit crew. I just this last month, in fact, I've been doing that now for 10 years. And so I looked at the number of people I've done interviews, and I've done 1,709. So I achieved a 1,700 rank. So I'm getting used to it, and I'm getting better. I keep practicing. But I'd like you to have your practice. So the idea of the workshop is that it's not a mock interview. It's a learning interview. We're trying to learn how to improve ourselves and do better. So yes, you'll get a video of your interview so you can see yourself. And yes, we'll go over things and talk about it. You'll get a handout. And the handout has another hour-long video that you get that goes over everything in the handout. So you get some other materials as well. But the whole idea is to say, if I can understand how to sell myself, and I can demonstrate that and articulate that successfully in an interview, where do you think you will stand compared to other candidates? On the roof, at the top. And so that's what I suggest you do. How many people here have gone through the workshop? Now, any of you who are interested, go talk to them. They'll tell you what it's really like. You don't have to listen to me. All right. So let's see. Today, I practiced interviewing every day. I learned a lot along the way. I got a great job with an increase in pay. You can practice too. What else can I say? I am Walt Glass.
Thank you very much. All right, the practice interview team. The practice interview team meets every Wednesday from 1 to 3 o'clock right here in this room at Christ United Methodist Church in Coit and Parker in Plano. They meet in person on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th Wednesday of the month. On the 4th Wednesday of the month, they will meet online. That way anybody around can watch and view an interview. They conduct 3 interviews each week. You have the option to be interviewed or just come watch somebody else be interviewed. And you will learn just as much by watching somebody else by going, oh, that was great what they did. I'm going to make sure I do that, or I better not ever say that way again. The nice thing about it is you get feedback at the Dallas Pit Crew, because the interviews last about 45 minutes, and then they have 15 to 20 minutes of feedback, and you don't get feedback when you go to a real interview. So this is a time that you can really perfect and be good about what you do. Your resume is a hook. Your resume, your LinkedIn profile gets you the phone call. How well you interview gets you the job. So check out the Dallas Pit Crew. If you want to be interviewed, just send a resume and a job description to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, and they will get you registered. All right, time for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning, Jeff. And again, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. So glad to be here. All right. So, just want to kind of cover, since this is today's career tip is part two, I'm going to back up for just a second and talk about part one. So the career tip for this week is the top 50 job search prompts. And like I said, last week we introduced it as part one. Today is part two. Next week will be part three. With that said, I partnered with my favorite AI platform, Gemini, and used the prompt, please create a list of the top 50 job search prompts used across AI platforms like Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, and that also yield the highest results in finding a job by job title, job category, and industry. And the results coming from that would be to land interviews across competitive markets. Top candidates don't just use generative AI as basic text generators. They treat platforms like Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity as a multi-stage talent acquisition pipeline. So the key is leveraging each platform's distinct core strength. And with that said, the pro tips for maximum results is when you're using these prompts, always feed the AI your real past metrics, actual resume bullet text, and the exact job description. Prompts will yield you the highest return on investment when looked at real evidence rather than letting the model write from scratch. So like I said, last week's was the first introduction, the first 50 of those prompts. And then they covered 5 different stages. Stage 1 was market intelligence and role sourcing. Stage 2 is resume and ATS optimization. Stage 3 was cover letters and direct outreach. Stage 4, interview preparation and role play. And stage 5, offer negotiation and career strategy. Well, that was last week. This week, continuing on, is, hang on a second. So this is the next 50 job search prompts. Like I said, I use the same exact prompt. And with the second part of it, after Gemini gave me that first 50, then I said, wow, well, thank you. Do you have another top 50 prompts broken out by categories or headings not already listed in the information above? And of course, it said, yes. Here is a brand new set of 50 high yield job search prompts organized into 5 advanced categories not covered in the previous list. These prompts focus on complex career maneuvers such as radical pivots, LinkedIn algorithm optimization, digital portfolio generation, executive or fractional positioning, and high stakes interview defense. So with that said, those are the 5 categories that part 2 covers. Because of the interest of time, I'm just going to say that each of them is really going to focus more on scripting, giving you scripts of things to say or things to look at or things to add into your resume or into an interview or into a phone screen. So there are 50 different types of scripts that are going to be resulted from each of these different prompts that's on the second part. So like I said, the category first one is career pivots and domain transitions. And that's going to focus on translating past experience into new industry language and bridging credibility gaps. The second category is LinkedIn profile and personal branding. So the focus is driving inbound recruiter discovery and optimizing for the LinkedIn search algorithm. The third category is search. It's going to focus on search workflows, portfolios, and AI chaining. And that focus is structuring efficient application workflows and producing digital assets. The fourth category is executive, fractional, and advisory positioning. The focus is positioning senior candidates for high autonomy, fractional, or leadership roles. And then the fifth category is high stakes interviewing and objections. So the focus on these is handling difficult questions, career bumps, and intense scenarios with poise. So now, this week you'll have 50. Last week you had 50 from there. So you have a total of 100 jobs, top 50 job search prompts, and hopefully they are going to yield you high results based on your skill sets, your industries, your job titles, and things like that. So I hope all of this information helps. I look forward to hearing from you guys if there's some tweaks that need to be made, but next week we'll cover part 3. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Thank you very much. All right. Today for lunch, we're going to go to Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road in the northwest corner of Parker and Independence. They've got burgers, salad, and more. And if you want this particular hamburger, you have to bring your own ham because they don't have sliced ham to put on your hamburger. So, but they would make it. All right. If you want to receive today's materials, you'll get a link to the YouTube video that gets posted tomorrow morning. You get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina just read with all those details. You'll get a copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you get it for everybody who's here in person, make sure you check your name off on the roster. Or if you're brand new, be sure to pull out the little slip of paper. And if it's legible, that's the key word. If it's legible, I will get you added to the contact list and you'll get this material tomorrow. For everybody who's online, please make sure that your email is in the chat somewhere. As long as I've got your full name and your email address, I will get you added to the roster in the morning. All right. Here are some people. We had 5 people last week who joined us with no contact information in the chat window. So I know they were here because I saw their names, but when I went to look them up on LinkedIn, these people don't have any contact information to be able to reach out to them. If you're on LinkedIn, I can't tell you, it's my biggest pet peeve with LinkedIn is that you don't have your phone number and your email address in your about section. Make it easy for recruiters or people like me trying to find you to be able to reach out to you. So if your name is on this list, please give us your contact information so I can, you'll get off of this list and on the regular contact list. All right, it's time for our main event. Debbie is the president of the Sales Company, a Texas-based firm that is helping hundreds of entrepreneurs, individuals, and corporations better access, understand, and engage in practical, purposeful selling. Debbie designs and delivers sales programs as well as conduct individual and team coaching. She's also a speaker. She's the author of The Field Guide to Sales and a conference facilitator. I love her. She has a little comment saying that she copies off. It says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. So Debbie, come on down, and she's going to be
aggravated already. So I'm going to walk around. I'm going to stand and turn this on. My children would tell you, I started at Texas Instruments selling semiconductors. I can build you a computer. I just don't work them well. So is it okay if I start with a prayer this morning? Very good. Let's all exhale. God, thank you. Thank you so much for Jeff and Walt and all the people that bring this program together year in, year out, and their dedication to each of them and to you. Thank you to each of you who came today, whether in person or in Zoom. And Zoom people, if you're in DFW, you should be here in person. So I would like you to be with us today. We know this is a stressful time, but we're all here for the same purpose, to help one another. So God, please help them see how each other can help, how they can help each other, and how we can help them with maybe things we haven't thought of. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So how is everybody this morning? Okay, so do any of y'all have children in school? Yes. So do you know how aggravated teachers are when you're looking at your phone and your computer all the time and not paying attention to the teacher? These are adults. So let me tell you something. I've been doing a program for Goldman Sachs for 12 years now called 10,000 Small Businesses. You have to apply to get in this program. You have to be in business a couple years, have people now. So this is the cream of the crop. 150 apply, 200 apply, 30 get in. Goldman Sachs, if you can imagine, yes, the Goldman Sachs has a rule. You come to class, you can use your computer for the class and the notes and all, but you are supposed to work out with your employees and things before you go that 12 weeks in advance, you're going to be out all day. It gives you plenty of time to arrange. So when it first started, I don't teach until the 6th part of the program. So the other 5 were like, oh, Debbie, they're adults. And I said, yeah, but Goldman Sachs is paying for the program. So here was what we found out after 12 years, is that people come to the program fully committed and ready to go, having taken care of or put aside for the day other people to do things. So I know this is only a couple of hours each week, and I say the same to those of you on Zoom. You know, when you're here, be with the people in the room. They're all nervous like you are, and just like on Zoom, you know, let's help one another. Extend your hand. Say, hello, my name is. It's okay. We are all, I know several of you, and we are all nice people. We really are. And we all want the same thing. And we have nice families. So now I will get off my soapbox. Hi. I have a company called the Sales Company. So what you're about to hear today, I'm not a teacher. I am about real world, real results, getting it done. And so I'm going to tell a little story to start out with. I go to Custer Road United Methodist here in Plano. And 20 years ago, most of the people at Custer Road like Christ. Are any of you members of Christ United here? That's okay. I can tell you they're the same here. Most of us are not from here. So we're not family. You know, we don't have family here. So we are each other's family. And our minister had a deal every Sunday during the service. You know, somebody had a great need or whatever. He would say, you know, somebody's ill, somebody needs this or whatever. Well, we had 6 families on a particular Sunday that were unemployed. You know, these are a mom, a dad, some kids, you know, that kind of thing. And so, and I knew about it a little bit from somebody else. Anyway, so he does the prayer. He does not mention these people. Now, he's always yapping about we're here for each other, we're supposed to take care of each other. And I think 6 families unemployed in Collin County is a pretty big deal. So I am, and at Custer Road, we still walk out of the church to the back of the church and shake the minister's hand at the back door. And he says, have a nice week, smiles at you. So that's how you leave church at Custer Road. I have a sweet husband, but he knows me. I was a Tasmanian devil by the time the sermon was over, because I thought, well, maybe he's going to make the point about these 6 families in the sermon. I'll give him that. Nope. So by the time we get to shaking his hand, my husband is behind me going, be nice, be nice, be nice, be nice. So we get up, I do extend my hand, and I said, Ron, we have 6 families unemployed and you didn't mention them. And he said, Mrazek, you need to do something about that. What? Okay, you know, and there's another 300 people behind me. So anyway, I move along and I'm like, listen. He said, no. He said, you know, we hadn't thought about we needed a ministry like this at Custer Road. Maybe we do. So you brought it up. You take care of it. You can have a room, a coffee pot, and donuts. The next Sunday evening, we were in a room with a coffee pot and donuts, and we were there. But here's the deal. At Custer Road, 1 year later, we had 300 families unemployed. The ministry was set up. It was ready to go. And it was active. And we'd already had people who'd been through it and helping one another, and those people led the way. Okay, so let me tell you about at the beginning of that. So Nobody in here brought your spouse today, did you? Good. So we can talk about him. So we had a gentleman that came the first, second, third, fourth week. I knew him. I knew everybody who came. They were lovely. But I always get there early. In the fifth week, I can see from the room we're in, I can see the parking lot. And I see him get out of the car and come in. There's big glass doors. And then I see on the other side, his wife gets out the car door. She's still dressed from church that morning. She looks very nice, and I know her well too. She is there to help. She has her purse. She has her notebook. She's still dressed from church this morning. She looks mighty fine. She's like, Lisa, she was like 5 foot tall and he's 6 foot. He's looking over her head at me going, save me. I'm so sorry, Debbie. I'm so sorry. Well, this man, whenever he'd come, he sat where Florence is. He sat on the back. She walks in, she doesn't do anything. She comes around, she sits right here. And we didn't have tables. And he's tall, so I'm now knee to knee with him. And he is looking at me like, please don't keep us late today. This is terrible. So the grace of God, all be the glory. I thought, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I do not know where it came to me from, but I started my remarks and then I said, you know what? Everybody, take out a piece of paper, write down. I want to know what you do, all your fancy things, all your education, none of that. I want you to write down 3 companies that you want to go to work for. Write it down, piece of paper. We're going to, just like school, we're going to pass it to the end of the aisle and I'm going to pick them up and I'm going to sing the Jeopardy song for you while we do it. That is horrifying. So they do this. And so I shuffle all the papers and I put his on top. And I tell you, you cannot make this up. I look at this. I walk over and I intentionally made my knees hit him. I said, have these been the same 3 companies the last 4 weeks? I told you, I'm not a teacher. I'm not nice. I want you to do that. Anyway, he went, yes. And I said, the one that has the number 1 by it, is that really the number 1 that you want? Yes. I said, I am going to kill you when we get out of church. But here was the deal. The number 1 he went there was one of my clients and somebody I knew. This is Sunday evening. I called this guy at home and said, I've got this superstar here. What can we do? Who do you know? He was working by the next Friday. Okay. Fast forward to a couple of years ago and the incredible Jeff Morris and Walt Gass. They asked me to come talk. So great. So I hadn't been here to Christ United. Good. I went to St. Andrews, Custer Road. I've done many churches. I'm sitting here and Jeff puts up that thing that he makes you all do with the 3 companies that you want to go to work for. And what do you want to do? Come to find out they've been doing this. This is only the grace of God. And it was only being aggravated because his wife showed up that day that we even came up with this idea. And come to find out lots of people are doing it. Here's the deal. It works. If you don't know where you want to go to work and you won't put in the time to figure out who those companies are, how many other people do you think are going to do that for you? We're busy, but we do want to help you. And I will tell you, my husband says to me every time before I come, and you cannot bring them all home. So teach them well. So good morning. I am Debbie Mrazek. I have the sales company. I've been helping people with their sales for 30 years. I did start at Texas Instruments selling semiconductors in Lubbock, Texas as a student, Texas Tech, only because TI helped pay for school. It was better than bartending and cocktailing. Made a whole lot less money, but better in the long run. So I am really passionate about helping you all find a job, because what I believe is that finding a job is the biggest sales thing you will ever do, is selling yourself. So first, I want to commend you online and in here that you had done your work before you came in, talked about what you wanted, who you wanted. And do you put the people in the classroom here? Do you put those online, the companies that they want? I might suggest that somehow you all figure that out because I've written them all down. I wrote down everything each one of you said, and yes, I'm very good at note taking, and the three companies, and so I have some things for some of you. But this is the deal. Do you remember the old Jerry Maguire movie where he screams, "Help me, help you"? That's what we're doing here. So help me help you. So very good. So who do you really know? Somebody said it in here, John, I believe, you know, when he was finding a job, people that he worked with before, and you talked about they reached out to you to encourage you. Yes, well, we should be reaching out to them because what do we know about all those people? We know those people and we know they know people. When Jeff mentioned the ministry now has people that are in other states that are on Zoom, because I was giving them a hard time about being on Zoom and not being here in person, but some of them are in New Jersey, so they don't have to be here. But the deal is you all know people. So I teach a thing called the Rule of 250. Do y'all know what it is? Walt, don't answer. He's had to listen to me more times than he deserves. The Rule of 250 is that each and every one of us know at least 250 people. And you've already identified yourselves as the data and engineering people in the room. So I know if you know 250 people, you know the rest of the calculation is those 250 each know 250 people. Who do you want to go to work for? You know somebody who knows somebody, but they don't know what you're looking for. They don't know that you're looking for it at all. So here's the deal about the Rule of 250. We tend to focus on our work and our work history and people that we've worked with. But here's the deal. How many of y'all have asked your family to help you? For those who can't see all of them, there's not many. Yes. So here's the deal. So I had a client for 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, if he was here, you would like him. Good man. Good man. You'd see him at a chamber event. Great handshake, dresses well, polite, good mannered, can carry on conversation, great worker, you know, kind of thing. He was my client for 4 years. And he, you know, we did lots of things. He was great. And one of the companies that he had wanted to get into was General Electric. And it just, 4 years, it just hadn't happened all. But this gentleman was single. His family was not from here. And so every year he went home to grandma's house for Thanksgiving. And he would whine, I have to go, blah, 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 blah. And finally, I'm so aggravated. I love him, but aggravated at him. And I said, you know what? She isn't going to live forever. So get your butt on the plane, quit complaining. And it was another one of those just, duh. I said, and you know what? All those people that are at grandma's house, do you ever ask them anything about them, like what they do the other 364 days a year? How have they been? Did they do something fun? No, we watch football and love on grandma. I said, well, why don't you treat it like a chamber event and ask them, how are you? What did you do this year? How have you been? What's going on? What do you know, where do you work? What do you do? You know, kind of thing. Oh, he says, Mrazek, you make me nuts. I said, well, you make me nuts. Happy Thanksgiving. Whoever invented voicemail, those nice people over there, I think it was Amex or something. I get a voicemail on a Monday morning, not exaggerating, someone screaming. And you know how sometimes when people scream, you don't know it's them right away, and then there's that inflection or something that gets you? It was him. What the voicemail said and reiterated, Mrazek, I hate your guts! Call me! Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been in business long enough. Obviously, this man is not going to be my client anymore. But what y'all don't know about me, but Jeff and Walt do, I am dishonorary enough. If you're not going to be my client anymore, I am going to call you. So I call him. He doesn't say hello. He doesn't do it. Debbie, what is the number one company I have been trying to get into for 4 years? I'm just like, well, hello, Debbie. General Electric. Why? Guess who my uncle is? I haven't a clue. His uncle was, ladies and gentlemen, the president of a division of, could not hardly help myself. And how long has he been your uncle? Yeah. Yes. Yes. So he's doing business with General Electric after 4 years within the next 90 days. Who do you want? Who is your 250? Okay, I was teasing Lisa when she came in. She's very tiny. And my mom was saying she's even wearing shoes and she's still short. So I was telling her about my mom, she's short. My mom was the kind, she may have been little, but if you were going to a dog fight, pick her up, you'll win. She was little but mighty. But anyway, my mom, when I published my first book, thank you for mentioning Jeff, the Field Guide to Sales. Let me tell you, when you publish your first book, they send you one copy. I did mine hardback and stuff, one copy, and you FedEx it to your mother, 10 o'clock delivery the next morning. My mother, when she receives a FedEx and a mail, anything, she calls you instantly. I'm waiting. Barbara does not call. She does not call, and she does not call, and she does not call. And finally, about 11 o'clock, she calls, and Mom, are you okay? Yes, honey, we have a problem. I was like, good morning, Mom. Did you get my Of course I did. And I got in the car, and I went to the bookstore. I'm from Wichita Falls, Texas. Sykes Center only had one bookstore. That's her bookstore. Ralph is the owner, or not the owner, the manager. And she goes there, and Ralph, we have a problem. I need more of these books. And it has one of those thingies on the back, a barcode. Ralph says, great. Now keep in mind, my mother is not educated, this tiny but mighty. The one thing you don't want to tell Barbara Crum is no. He comes back, Barbara, darling, we don't have anything. She said, this is obviously a problem because Debbie is from Wichita Falls and you're a bookstore and she did this book and it should be here. This guy goes to the back, it's a chain, comes back and gives her the person's name, the name in New York, the direct phone number, the direct email, and says, Barbara, just give this to her and they will fix it. And they did. My mother, who to this day, until the day she died, would tell you, I don't know what she does, but we don't support her. Yes. And money. She's on her own. But anyway, so who is it? Who do your friends know? Why do you not tell people? Would you want them to tell you they're unemployed and they need help? Would you be offended if they ask you, hi, Lisa, do you know anybody at NTT Data, Toyota? Would you be offended if somebody called you and asked you that? No. Would any of you be offended if a friend or a colleague asks you that? And it's okay if the answer is yes, because every now and then there's somebody who doesn't like that. And if that is the case, then this will be hard for you. But here's the deal. People love you. They want to help you. They genuinely do. But you have to initiate. You have to ask. Okay? So currently today, this is interactive. You tell me, who has been your best referral sources? Past colleagues? Excellent. Who else? Colleagues? Yes. Yes. And John was talking about McDonald's around the corner. You have an accountability group. This is brilliant. It really, really is. I would tell you, in doing sales consulting, sales coaching and all, I had never done testimonials for my business. And somebody said, oh, this might be good to add to your website, and all. So I hired somebody extremely intelligent that can talk to people, not a survey, yes, no, ABC, really talk to people. Gave the person 10 company names, called them, and she called me back with all the results. And she said, Debbie, before we start, can I just tell you something? I said, yes. And she said, first of all these people were fabulous. I said, I know, I get to pick who my clients are. But she said, no, but all of them said something. And she said, I have never heard you speak it. I'm thinking, oh, this is why we get other people involved, objective third parties. And I said, what did they say? They said you held them accountable. I said, there is not one of them that says I hold them accountable, because if there's one thing salespeople hate is the word accountability. She said, Debbie, but every single one of them, I think you should add it to your marketing. Here was the deal. They told her stories, and it just cracked me up. I love it. I have a meeting with you at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. If you didn't have prepared what you told me you would have prepared, they would say, you turned the office upside down the day before, the night before, because you were not coming to the call at 10 o'clock with what you committed to. But I always say to them, I'm not your mother, I'm not your wife, I'm not your business partner, I'm not the banker. You paid me up front. You pay in advance before I show up. I expect you to do the work. So if they hadn't done the work and had to show up at the call, they'd rather die. I love it. So accountability. So John, thank you for sharing that. I'll be sharing that with others I know whose groups need accountability subgroups. Look how good he is. Look at that boy smiling. Yes. So help one another, accountable, hold yourself. Do you all have a plan? Here's the deal about finding a job. I believe finding a job is a job. Yes. And when I wrote my book about, getting a job, I talked about shower, shave, and Starbucks. When I very first started after that, somebody said, well, girls don't shave. I said, well, they should. But my point was, shower, shave, and Starbucks. Get yourself up, get yourself out. Look at all of y'all. Y'all look great this morning. And that's why I was referring to Zoom. They probably all have fluffy slippers and pajama pants on, but they look cute above the waist. But shower, shave, Starbucks, get up. And somebody says, well, I can't afford to go to Starbucks. They don't charge you to walk in the door. Walk in, take a seat, act like you own the place. McDonald's, Whataburger, it doesn't matter. You can go there, get up. When you get up and get out, it's a different energy. What do you do when you're opening the door? Say, Lisa's coming in the door and I'm going out. And I say, oh, girl, I love that blue and white. Lisa does just this. We don't even know each other, but I have made her smile. And her smile makes me feel better because I'm not feeling very great about myself today. But we don't have that if we stay home all the time. Yes, I was sitting at SMU at the Tate Lecture Series one evening with girlfriends. We'd been out to dinner, just a nice night for us, but behind us were two ladies whose husbands were unemployed. It broke my heart, them talking about they hadn't left the house and they were more depressed and the children were, and all of this. And my friends were saying, no, Debbie, not tonight. We're having girls' night. No, you can't talk to them on the way to the parking lot. Leave them alone. They're having girls' night. It was true. I didn't interrupt. But here's the deal. We've got to get up and get out. And when we get up and get out, even if we're not comfortable speaking to somebody, smile. That is a beautiful red dress you have on. I love that. How do you feel when people say nice things to you, even if you don't know them? We're humans. Let's be humans. That's the other thing. We're humans. Humans need to be together when things work great, to celebrate. When things work bad. One of the things Goldman Sachs found in that program too, do you know how many small business owners never, ever, ever, ever speak out loud what's wrong? Why? Because somebody will find out and they won't do business with us. What is the likelihood of every business, everything is going to be great? So they told them, okay, we have a cone of silence. When you come to class, you can say whatever's wrong, but all the details, the ugly ones, like we're not making payroll this month, the ugly ones. We are not going to criticize you. First of all, we're going to lift you up, but then what can we do to help with that? Who do we know? What have you not said to the bank that we know you can say to the bank? Okay? But the same, what do we say in America? What did your mother tell you when you were showing out, showing off? We are not peacocks. Don't do that. It's one of the they were this week. Just how great they were. Do you know how good you feel when you walk away and you have spoken the truth about what's good and what's bad, and people helped you and maybe moved the needle? You're a different person. So are they. So help one another. Okay, so here's what I mean about a job. So you need to create a plan every week for what you want to do. And I'm going to grant you 8 to 5. But if you want to sleep late, I'll let you, but then it has to be 10 to 7. But I want you to make a plan. So what are you doing the first hour of the day? The second, the third, I want you to take a break for lunch. I want you to go to McDonald's and have accountability with John. And then I want you to come back. What are you doing the next hour? The next hour. Is it calling people? Is it researching? What are we doing? And when you get to the end of the day and close your computer, I want you to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, we did it. We did it. Because here's what I know, is if you are in action, something is going to happen. I am in awe of the lady who offered the tips for last week and for this week, Rosina. Rosina, thank you, Rosina. I mean, these are things you can do. If you don't know what to do, there are people to help you. So make a plan and do it. The job is not going to come to you. Everybody, just like you, when you're working every day, were you out looking for jobs for other people? No. I speak all over the place for my business and, to give back in my community like this. These are, of course, always pro bono. But people ask me all the time. I'm a one-person business. But if you send me a note, Donna, and I already wrote it down, like you wanted something, I will respond. I may not get to it tonight. It may be by tomorrow, but I will get back to you. So now, Jeff, could I step with you on your LinkedIn soapbox with you? Are y'all ready? I am number 104,602 on LinkedIn. There are 13 billion people on LinkedIn today. I am 104,602. How long have I been there? A long time. Who do you want to know? If you will go to my LinkedIn and you see somebody you want to be connected to, or even Lisa, like if you just said, Deb, I see you know somebody at NTT Data, but they're not my people. But if you will mention to me that it's NTT Data and specific what you're looking for, I will ask my NTT Data person if he would help you. And that's a better referral for you anyway, for him to introduce you internally. But I'm not going to come after you all tonight. You all are not going to get a love note from me tonight going, okay, go look at my LinkedIn, tell me. But if you do that, I will respond to you. Jeff's point is so critical. This is a few keystrokes. If you do not have your email address and your phone number on your LinkedIn contact page, if you don't take anything else away from today, please, please, please do that. Because these are now going to be people you don't know. Okay? So you want to make it easy for everybody, just like you did today. With the companies you want to go through and work for and all. But then if they want to reach out to you for something else, you don't want them to have to be calling Debbie. Debbie, John called me. This was great, but I can't find his phone number. Debbie is busy too, but she will get back to you, kind of thing. You want to make it easy where they can go there and find you. Does this make sense? Here's the other deal. We all know people all over the place. Agreed? Agreed. So there may be somebody in California I know who knows the people at Toyota in Plano. You don't care where they are. You just tell me who you want. And here's the other deal I'm going to ask you. You know what? Each of you spoke to Jeff's form this morning, the specific, what you're looking for, the job title, the skills, those kind of things. I'm going to ask you to send that to me in a message. But here's what I'm going to do when I introduce you, and you can ask anybody who knows me, and they will tell you this is the God's truth. You send it to me in black and white, serious words like you use, and I'm going to put my Debbiness on it. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, they showed up at our career outreach group. Fabulous. I got to meet them. I got to see them. Oh, great presentation, great presence. These are, I always say my Debbieisms. Basically, I'm adding adjectives like you all should use, but I will use them like I'm your mother. And so when they meet you, here's what I want. When I give you a referral, I don't want it to be like, yes, and how is the weather where you are today? How are the Cowboys on Sunday? No, I want you to talk to John like it's your friend. Hi, Debbie told me to call. And she said, and he's going to say, I know. And she told me, and I even had this happen this week, and this is true. I know I'm bad, but it's true. This one guy, new to me, wanted to meet somebody I know, but somebody I know well. So I sent in the official, I love you both. This is what's great about you. This is what's great about you. And, I would like you two to connect. The one that I know very well sent the new one back a note. He said, I hope you know this about her. She expects this to happen. He said, do you understand? Like, she's going to be okay if we don't get together for coffee this week, but she expects this to happen. And she expects us to follow up with her and tell her what happened. I cracked up, but it's the truth. Why would you have somebody help you with something and not say thank you? Do you know how it makes me crazy, but it happens. So I've referred you, you got the job, I'm thrilled for you, but I don't know. You don't call and tell me you got the job. I run into who I referred you to and go, George, how did that work out? And he goes, Deb, we hired him that week. Debbie does know bad words that she will not be using at Christ United. They're under her breath. Because these are people that I use for referral sources all the time. If my referral sources think I don't appreciate them and the extra time they take to help my people, what's the likelihood they're going to continue to help me? Yeah, this is a circle. Okay, so LinkedIn. Does everybody have a picture on your LinkedIn? I'm sorry, this wasn't your soapbox item, it's mine. Everybody have a picture on LinkedIn? Would I recognize you in the picture? Look at you. What is your first name? I can't remember. Jim. K-I-M. Kim. Would you have someone take a picture of you today? Oh. And an email? Yes. Whoever said that, let me know their name and I'll shoot them. Yes. Right there, John, thank you. They're wrong. But I hear it a couple of weeks. But you know what? Can I pick on you a little bit? Just a tiny bit. How many hours are in a week? 168? 2 weeks is 168 plus 168. 332. No, that's not right. Is that? That's not right. Whatever it is, that's a lot of hours to take a picture. That's what I'm going to do that before we leave here today. Thank you, John. John, can I delegate that to you? Yes, John, I'm delegating.
My accountability group.
Yes, pitch in the $5 for coffee. There you go. No excuses. You have to have a Coke with me. I'm a Whataburger girl, but McDonald's will do. You're so funny. My point is, this is what we say to ourselves about a lot of things. You know, I haven't had time. You know, I have accountability partners too, and they're like, Debbie, how long does this take? Well, the truth is, it takes 8 minutes. And I've procrastinated 3 weeks and not done it. Yeah. We're human. So give each other grace, but we will help you out. You get an A. You get an A, but he does not get an A for a picture unless John gets him before we go. And you better smile nice. I want him to see who you are. This is the other thing about the picture is be who you are. You know, smile. You know, this might be the only way they see you. Okay, so you're going to create a plan every day. What you want to do, you're going to get up and do it. You're going to give yourself Saturday and Sunday off. You're not going to make your family crazy, be acting like you're on the computer looking all the time when you're not, you're just surfing. Create it like a job. I don't care if it takes a day, a week, 2 weeks, a year, whatever it is, finding a job is a job. You would never, ever go to your job every day and not have a plan for what you're going to do at work. Okay? So this is the same. All right. So colleagues, friends, here's the deal. So when I ask you, if you send me a LinkedIn, you want to meet somebody on mine, would you please, say what you want and your skills and all that? But what do you want me to say about you? And I'm serious about this. There is something that you are super at, and maybe you're hearing your mom's voice like Debbie is a bit like a peacock, but you know what? If I tell them, that's not you telling them. And let me tell you how I learned this the hard way in sales. When I started, I did customer service, inside sales. At TI, you couldn't be in outside sales unless you got a degree. And so TI helped me get my degree. I got in outside sales. And Our boss, God love him, he's like, do we want to send, I'll just imitate him, Bruce Smith. Do we want to send you in there and say, okay, I think she knows something about semiconductors, and so you should just see her? No. She is educated. She's been doing this 3 years. You know, she helps Dresser Industries. She helps Schlumberger. She does, you know, he said, Debbie, you have to learn to tell them those things yourself. We don't want to send in yucky people. You are not yucky people. Every one of you are wonderful about what you do. You've got to tell us. You have to tell others. You have to tell me so I can tell them. I want it to be heard. I don't want you to be a surprise to them. Like, why didn't you tell me she could do that and that and that? Well, she didn't tell me. Okay, so you have to tell me. So this thing about the accountability group, John, how long were you in the group? Very good. Are they your friends now? Will you speak to them again? Very good. But if John, say 6 years from now, you were looking for a job again, would you reach out to these people? Absolutely. That's what you're creating here is referral partners. But you need to know who are good referral partners for you. Not everybody is a great referral partner, and they may mean well. And let me tell you, if somebody tries to refer you, I'm asterisk here, a gentle asterisk. If somebody tries to refer you like their intent is good, but they miss, I still want you to be kind and say thank you. And all you may be able to say thank you for is thank you for trying on my behalf. But if maybe there was a little something they said that was right, affirm that. And then we're not correcting them. But if an opportunity comes up again, one other thing you could say about me would be, okay, we want to develop referral partners because here's the deal. How many times working and having a job have you needed something unexpected and you didn't know who to call? Yeah, we've all been there. Referral partners are great for that. Hey guys, John can reach out to the McDonald's group. I'm in my new job. Oh my gosh, today I heard about this. You know, I'm not sure. Do any of y'all know? They're going to respond back. They'll know or just checking on John. I don't, but, and what is it when we hear something? The reason for the 3 company deals, so if you had said to me, David, Deb, I would like to go to work at Ernst & Young. And I said to you, okay, David, I'm so sorry, darling. I don't know anybody at Ernst & Young, but I know somebody at Deloitte. Would that be okay? Look at him. Yes, but see, but that's the deal about the 3. I may not know Toyota, but I know somebody at GM. You know, so you telling me those 3 specific sets off something in me. And it's up to you. There may be a reason you don't want to do GM, and that's just fine. But you tell me. But that's the deal about the 3. It tells you so much. And what it tells me is somebody has done their homework, that they are serious. The fact that you all showed up here and on Zoom today, that tells me, and this is what I tell people, they showed up to learn, to seek help. They're not sitting at home whining. They're out here doing something, okay? Things you do say things about you without you saying anything. How do you feel when somebody gives you a yucky handshake? And we don't say, that's a yucky handshake. But we kind of like, But when they look us in our eye and they have a firm handshake, their shoulders are back, and they're like, and this is what, how do we feel about that? Intuitively or consciously? Yes, it says a lot. Okay, so we got our partners, we're leveraging our network, and we are at Christ United. So can we say we know the do unto others as you'd have them do unto you? Here's what I say. Give first. I know all of you are in need today. You came here because you need something. But your ability, like what Jeff and Walt are talking about, not only who are you looking for, but who do you know that you could help somebody else? How good does it feel to give? So give first and give always. And then for those of you who are in sales here, you can take a nap for a second. But the secret about sales and the reason people hate salespeople so bad is they do not follow up. They come in and they're like, rah, 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 and then you never hear from them again. That schmuck, that whatever. The fortune is in the follow-up, is one of the number one tenets in sales. The fortune is in the follow-up. And my addition to that is if you are not going to follow up, don't show up. You're aggravating. Follow-up is a thank you. How many of y'all do handwritten thank yous? Okay, this is the Debbie thing. Handwritten goes so far. How do you feel when you open your mailbox and there's something handwritten? Don't tell me you don't like it. But if you cannot bring yourself to put a stamp and a handwritten envelope in the mail, I'll let you do an email. But there needs to be a thank you. Not a thank you that's the size of War and Peace, a genuine. I enjoyed our meeting. I was intrigued by, I wanted to share, this thought came later, that kind of thing. 3 or 4 sentences, sincerely, you, and get it out as quickly as possible. Okay? The fortune is in the follow-up. Always say thank you. Here's the other thing, and I know you don't want to hear this, John, but these are things we need to be doing in tough times or good times. We should be helping others. We should be following up with our referral source. You know how we have email groups and stuff and all. Just checking in. How you guys doing? Do you need anything? You know, because things are going to happen. And John may never need another job ever. But John's going to need things in his job or somewhere or something he's working on. And he has us. He can call us for anything. So many of us have never had to look for a job. I said, you know, Texas Instruments, I could not be in outside sales unless I had a degree, and they were helping me get it. I got my degree in May, as only Texas Instruments can do. In June, they sold my division. I skipped all the interviewing at the university, you know, where they bring the company. I didn't do anything because I was like my dad. My dad was in the military. This was going to be my job for life at TI. Oh my gosh, I had a 2-year-old who had some illness. I had a mortgage. I was in Houston. They were bringing all the people who bought the company to Dallas. And they told us if we wanted, we could go and interview with them. And so my husband takes me to the airport. Anybody old enough to remember when you could take your sweetie to the door at the airplane? Thank you. I miss getting my hug and kiss at the door when I get on. But at this time we were, but this was that same husband following me down the aisle at church going, be nice. Be nice, be nice. Well, this started all those years earlier when he was putting me on Southwest Airlines to go to Dallas. Debbie, please be nice. Please be nice. We have a mortgage. Jason's only 2. We need food. Come on, be nice. And I get there. They have church folding tables like this and folding chairs. And you sit over here and wait. And the people are there and they call your name and you go up. And you cannot make this up. So I go up. The gentleman does stand. Older gentleman shakes my hand. Hello. He has a piece of paper. We still did things on paper back then. Yes. And he's like, hi, Debbie. So this is what we're thinking. And this is, and all. And he says to me, now keep in mind, I'm making like $10 an hour. Yes. Thank you. But I was aggravated. Type A firstborn, and you've irritated the dickens out of me. So he says, he says to me, so what do you want to make? I said, I want to make $3,000 a month plus commission. Walt Gass, you would have been so proud. And he went, okay, sign here. No, there was nothing. Not another word came out of his mouth after sign here. And I know I hesitated, but I'm thinking about my husband and my son. So I signed the paper and I pushed it back. He stood up and said, thank you. Now, what we're going to do to start with, we're going to keep the same lease, the same office building. I'd like to have you there 8 o'clock Monday morning. Yes, sir. Okay. I fly back to Houston, same sweeties at the door. And he said, so what happened? I said, I don't know. He said, darling, what do you mean you don't know? I said, well, they said they hired me and I have this piece of paper The man had one for me and him, and they told me to be there at 8 o'clock on Monday. He said, so what is the problem? I said, well, he asked me what I wanted. He said, oh, dear Lord, what did you tell the man? I said, well, I told him I wanted $3,000 a month plus commission. He said, you did not. I said, I did. He said, oh my God, Debbie, they're never going to pay you that. I said, well, he said, and he signed. Now, I'm married to this really good West Texas boy. You all would call the good old boy, solid citizen. Your handshake means everything. He's like, well, then you shook his hand, so you better be there at 8 o'clock on Monday. But maybe ask a few more questions or see if we get a check on the 15th. Well, needless to say, it absolutely changed my life. That man was, he was one of the people that were the executives of the company in New York. And I didn't see him again for 2 years. Anybody ever been to a trade show? You know how they have all the booths and all? So I was at a semiconductor trade show and I'm going up and down and y'all, it's like if this was the row, I saw him. And it was like, oh my Lord. Backing up, and I'm going to go down this row. And when I got down this row, he was coming. He had seen me too. He said, well, hello. I said, hello. I extended my hand. I had been very successful at that point. He said, so tell me something. What happened that day? I still never knew. And part of me thought I didn't really want, I did. I was young. He said, what happened that day? And he was serious. He was going to stand there. I said, sir, I am so sorry. I really do not know. He said, you really do not know. And you know how your father would look at you like, He looked at me and he said, Debbie, he said, about all those people, he said, we had a list with 5 names. And those 5 names, whatever they said to us, whatever, we were supposed to say yes and get them to sign that piece of paper as quickly as possible. Oh, but wait, now think about it. I'm inside sales. I'm nobody. Okay. So he says that. And I said, well, then I still don't know because I wouldn't be one of those 5 people. He said, Debbie, work with me. He said, do the outside salespeople know all the customers? I went, no. Huh. He said, does the inside salesperson know all the customers? I did. We only had one. I said, oh my God. He said, girl, he said, if you don't ever take anything away from this again, he said, and when I heard Walt say it the first time, it was like, oh, ask for what you want. You just might be surprised you get it, and who knows where it'll take you. It has been an extraordinary career. Ask for what you want. I love this, the woman who asked, for, it wasn't exactly it, but she got a signing bonus, What do you want? So oftentimes we don't. We're settling. Don't settle. So good times, bad times, you need to know these people, and you're not alone. And I just, wherever you came in here today, whatever you've done, maybe you're sitting here going, oh, Deb, I didn't do this, or I did do this, whatever it is. I don't want you to beat yourself up. I just want you to go home and do it. Because I really do always say you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. Thank you for being here today. Do we have time for a question?
Yes.
Yes, question? Question? Yes.
Let her.
I'm sorry. Yes. As a contractor mostly for the past 30 years, oftentimes
Second, hi, we didn't get to meet you before. Here, quickly, tell us your name and what you're looking for. I'm sorry, Lisa, 1 second.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm John Bush, IT support analyst. That's what I'm looking for. Contacts at Velocity IT or Cinemark. I applied with them yesterday. If anybody needs contacts at the Dallas Morning News, Medium Giant, Arctic IT, I have contacts there. Sure.
John, were you here when the lady said about Goldman Sachs? There's many IT positions. Okay, so you'll follow up. Thank you for being here. Lisa, I'm so sorry. He came in after y'all finished.
No worries, but oftentimes when you're going through a staffing vendor, which you often do with contracting, your hiring managers or your interviewing panel don't always share their information, and they don't want to. Sometimes they just volunteer it and you can communicate with them, but oftentimes they don't. And, if you speak to your recruiter right after the interview, and you might say, where do I send the thank you note? Or, they'll just maybe thank them on your behalf. But you don't always get to do that. And I always feel guilty because I'm a Southern girl and we're supposed to do that.
Well, we are all supposed to do that. Good manners, good etiquette. Y'all aware that today in the United States, in the marketplace, we have 5 generations of people. 5. And, somebody younger than you may be the boss, somebody much older than you maybe, it doesn't matter. But the key is, when you said that, is our ability to communicate and to feel comfortable to ask questions. And let me tell you, if you are somebody who is more introverted and have difficulty asking questions, think about before you go in. Great salespeople do this. We write down the questions before we go in to see the customer. What are we not leaving here until we know? We should do the same when we're looking for a job. But here's the deal with the questions. The questions need to be phrased open-ended. Who, what, where, why, how, when. Not yes, no. Do you do this? No. Well, if you're already having a tough time having conversation, that makes it hard. I know you all do not experience me today as an introvert, but believe it or not, it is really my preferred. But what I learned in sales was asking open-ended questions that were intentional and relevant. And yes, I wrote them down and went in. And I even had customers who would say, be careful what you say to her. She writes it down. She remembers. You don't get to say you didn't say that. But who, what, where, why, how, and when. So they have to talk. And when you get better at asking the questions and being specific with them, the more information their answers will give you, because you might be the one to have to say, thank you so much for inviting me in today, but I can see this will not be a good fit for me, but thank you. End it quickly if you know. They have a lot more respect than if you just carry it on because you think you should. So ask open-ended questions. What do you want? And it's not just about the money. What about the job? John, how long would you like to be at this company, Verizon, that you're going to? 3 years. So John wants to be there for 3 years. So what needs to happen in 3 years to keep John happy in there? It's not just about them being happy with John. John needs to be happy. And I will tell you another tidbit I learned in sales, but I find this, especially some of you mentioned being at a VP or director level. If you are wanting to talk to a publicly held company, go back and look at their annual reports. What are they talking about in their annual reports they want to accomplish in the next 12 months, in the next 36 months, in the next 5 years? What are they doing? What do you already have some experience doing that they're going to need that you hadn't even really thought about? That experience, presenting that about yourself. So the information's out there. It's not like the old days where, we really needed to know somebody to tell us something about the job. Now we can find out about the company, what their plans are, what they're doing. Even private companies, there's information out there. So who, what, where, when, why, and how. And let me tell you, I over at UTD, another thing I like to do to give back in the community, in the School of Management, they have senior level classes where the entire class for the semester is to create a company. So they create teams within the class, so 4 or 5 people. You create a company, everything. Financials, HR, operations, sales, all of it. They do that. And then I come in the last of class. This is how they get their grade. And they present their business to me in a panel. And then we critique and we ask questions and all. Well, one of the things we found, guys, they're so brilliant, but they don't know how to talk to people. Do not know how to talk to people. And it's heartbreaking because they're brilliant. What they're sharing with us and their ideas, they don't have to do an idea that has to come to fruition. They don't have to create it for real, but some of them want it. But they can't even do eye contact. They can't even smile. You're responding to them. They can't look at you. And yeah, yeah. I had one kid and he would be okay. I told him, I said, I'm going to talk about you forever. And he's up there and he has his shoes off. I'm not joking, not joking. Beautiful presentation, everything. And he's like looking at his toes and his teammates doing the financial part. And so when it's over, we do all the serious stuff. But then it's like, just a heads up. I don't know anybody's going to let you come in and present and take off your shoes. And he just didn't even know he was doing it, just not conscious. But these students would tell you, we always go early and stay late, if they want to talk. They do not know how to communicate. And they want so badly to. Yeah, yeah. What else? What other questions? What can I answer for you? Pardon? I teach. Oh, yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah. And I know you all think that is ridiculous to tell adults. I know you do, but it is not. It's the same like with the computers and the phones. I had Matt Blanton's gone now. Some of you, if you've been in the community a while, Richardson started one of the first incubators in America for small technology companies called StarTech. And I was working with them, helping with their sales and marketing. And we'd invited a woman to come in to do some media. Y'all. Now, Mr. Blanton had helped people get to the moon. If you were even in the room with the man, I thought that determined respect. Maybe not me, but him, kind of deal. And come in, she puts her phone down, like by her deal. And every now and then she would look. He let it go for 10 minutes, ask a couple of questions, and goes, Debbie, anything else? And I was like, no, sir. I didn't know really exactly what was wrong at that moment, but I knew we were not doing this. I said, no, sir, nothing. He said, okay. He was gracious, got up, walked her all the way to the door, shook her hand, and came back in, and he went, Debbie, if they don't have 10 minutes to give us their full attention, what in heaven's name do we think that they would be able to give us their attention to get us where we want to go? Are we clear? I said, absolutely, sir. I've never, and this was a grown person. This was not, somebody 20 and just starting out, somebody very successful, very experienced and all. So grown people, young people, everybody does it. How do you want to be treated? I think that's the best barometer. Like just saying thank you. I don't need presents. I don't need a War and Peace thank you note. Just, hey, Deb, thanks. I got the job. He was great. We're looking forward to it. No, I eat. And I love Whataburger at Coy between Spring Creek and Legacy. Oh, look at you. I'm there every day. I had my first date with my husband there. On Monday, we had our 52nd wedding anniversary. So I've been going there ever since. I grew up, we couldn't afford to go out to eat. So my first date was him and a hamburger, and he paid. I thought that was fabulous. We've been going ever since. He's originally from down around South Texas, where Whataburger started. Yeah, this man can even sing you the Whataburger jingle. I won't. Yes. Yes. Yep. Yes.
There's all kinds of things, self-bathroom remodel, all this kind of stuff. But it's like all these things come through, like we're looking for somebody with 1 to 3 or 3 to 5 years of experience kind of thing. It's like, and some of them real big organizations. So what do you see in that? I mean, I think the whole population of candidates has changed because a lot of people, are dropping out. They're not working anymore. And then there's some of the younger generations, in my perspective up here, the people skills are not, and the work ethic may not be so hot. So what do you see as companies and their perception of age? I think in sales, sometimes
Oh, thank you for saying that. I have not met him before today. I did not know he was going to say this. So my husband's in the chemical industry, chemical distribution, and he always worked for the big global guys. And dear friends of ours who were a little older had a business. He ended up going and taking the business, and he sold it 8 years ago. And he got up that morning and he said, and I have a business, he has a business, and we don't
we do them separately. And he said, I think I'm done. I want to sell the business. And first I'm going to call Randy. And if Randy doesn't want to call it, then call Greg, and then I'm going to call Randy. Well, he calls Greg, and Greg says, I just bought another company this week. I can't buy yours. Why? Rah, rah, rah. He said, no problem. I'm calling Randy. Now, these are grown men with good attorneys, so, nothing weird here. But, call Randy, and Randy said, yes, this is what we're going to do. Well, so Tommy is turning 75 tomorrow. So you might look at him and go, ugh. Here's what Randy looked at. Randy owns the company now, but he had two sons, just finishing college. Two sons that finished college don't listen to their dad. And my husband, when he sold this company to him, also brought the other two guys that had 35, 40 years of experience, all three of them. So when he hosts the Christmas party in Houston annually, this is what he does. Everybody else is an employee for him. Tommy and his two guys, they have a different arrangement, kind of deal. But he walks in the nice place and comes in and he looks for me, and one of the other people has a wife. And he comes over like football, like a huddle. And he goes, girls, how are we? Is our guy good? Is our guy good? Yes, yes. Here's the deal. These guys, what they can put out in 10 or 12 hours a week worth of work, not only his sons, but his other experienced people on his team, 40, 50, good guys. Nobody's getting fired. They can't do that much in 60 hours. Okay? Fast forward. Everything in the chemical industry is tied to oil. Think about the globe today. When you have somebody who knows the world markets, who knows finance, who has the relationships with the people to call Jim and go, Jim, you and I both know the price of oil today is good, that you talk in these, do you know how many millions Randy will make these years out of these guys with all this gray hair? So I asked him last year, I said, could I speak about this about you? He has all 5 generations in his companies. And he said, Debbie, it has been the game changer for me. And people who had been hiring people, nothing wrong with hiring kids out of college, because we need to do that too. But he said, where people say, no, I can save so much money. What he says to them, well, you may save $100,000 hiring that kid for a salary. He said, but I made an extra 22 million hiring this guy. I mean, it's true. It's fact. And so people who understand your value. So let me tell you what I did a few years ago. I did not know all of you were going to retire and go away and I wasn't going to see you again. I thought we were going to be together for life. And I had been networking and I have, great networking. And people, not only do they go away, they just go away. They just go away. I hate it. So I started intentionally looking for groups that were 10 and 15 years younger than me. So people that already had some experience, but not my, kind of thing. I don't talk about how I don't care. I'm 72. I've had one of those pearly gates experiences. So every day for me is a happy day. Yeah. But people don't care about how old you are. People don't care how old I am. What are we doing together? We're asking questions. I treat them like people, and all. Yes, we might make reference to what did you do on Friday night. It's probably not the same as me, teasingly. But I mean, treating people like people. And so that doesn't come up and go, well, you're only 42, so I don't think I can talk. No. And that's what I think when you go in these companies that have a great culture, and I know I'm speaking to the choir for the HR people, but when you have a great culture that it doesn't matter how old you are, but it's what are we doing? What are we creating together? What are we trying to make happen? Those are the places. And that's why when I said asking questions about, what do we want in a company? What do we want? What do we want to do? What kind of people do we want to be around? I mean, do any of y'all ever go to places and like the person at the front desk is just yucky? Ah. Well, but seriously, for years, my children are grown, my daughter 40, son 46, and they would tell you about going to Tom Thumb on Saturday. I am not good. Don't say thank you. And I spent $150 on groceries. Yeah. So I wait. The bag boy puts the groceries in the cart and the children are there. The person doesn't look at us, nothing. And then turns around, I just smile. And they go, yes. And I said, and? Thank you. You're welcome. I mean, it's the little things. I don't want to go to work somewhere where they don't say thank you and they're not nice to each other. Yeah, please.
Last open forum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, please share. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, is it be who you are? I don't care how old you are. What are we doing? What are we doing together? I have friends all ages. Yeah. And we have to, really talk to ourselves too. If we realize we have a bias, there's something we can do about that. Yeah. What else? Please. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. I realized that in my resume, I was shown 20 years of working. Because I came from 18, then 2 years I worked in the US. I never got a call. So what I did is I gave it a good thought. One of my friends said, take out a lot of your maybe non-relevant experience. I just said, yeah, I started getting calls from the IT. I said, okay. So sometimes you'll have to play smart. Ideally, it should not be biased, but there is. In fact, one of the guys told me, my whole team is so young. You'll be the odd man out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Day after I let go at a company that all of a sudden now is on a mission to hire my son showed up after he got out of college, and I guess they're trying to find other 20-somethings to run it. Like at one point in time, I had tiptoed asked the HR manager's office because they were making fun of me because I have flat feet and I shuffle. So the environment's getting really not pleasant kind of thing. But one thing I found with the interview for another wholesale grocery, which there aren't many of them, that business is not doing well right now, is that their HR manager goes through a recruiter, their HR manager, and he was really digging in for, oh, you did this, it was in the 80s or whatever. I didn't really have that on there, but it's like,
Yeah, that's why I say you don't lie. They're going to figure it out anyway.
job would have been a daily drive to Seagoville, so it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's good we're not doing it, but that's
Absolutely. And this is when I was saying about asking the questions about what you want, framing them, that'll get you the answers. Like, am I even in the right place? 1 second, John first, and then you. Yes, John. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Questions like that, you don't want to be there.
Absolutely. And you don't, not for a day.
Trust, you want a job.
Yes, I get that. Yeah. You don't. Please. Yeah. Here, speak up a little bit.
Just a couple extra points on ageism. I think you want to hit at kind of the special sauce that you bring, which is value. And what is value? Value is experience plus results, right? And so it's something that, younger candidates just don't have, right? So, and the second thing is relationships. Relationships happen over time. And that's something that you bring to the party that younger candidates do not have. So I think those are the two main things. And the other thing is in the networking, to John's point, like find the culture, like there are organizations, teams, they're going to be more willing and open to an experienced candidate than aren't, and avoid the ones that aren't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Be who you are. Be who you are. Yes, please.
I love that. I think that's great. The value that we do bring from Brent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
HR people that in their career, their job, they're interviewing, they're hiring other people. They can't say what they do.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, what have they been looking for when they ask other people to say what they?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the younger people, the value that they bring is their excitement, right? They're coming in very idealistic. A lot of us have become disenfranchised, because we've had a lot of experiences that were hard or difficult, and we have value in the fact that we made it through those decisions. So the one thing I'd say, I think it's important to tell them the value we bring as far as the experience we've had, but also to get really excited about what's next, right? And so, yeah, yeah, yeah,
For your resume?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, one of the things, like, I know the word AI is said so much, but if you show a lot of, man, I'm really excited to find out how we can apply that here or something like that. I had my dad, this is years ago, back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I can't remember, when like Lotus 123, which is now Excel, came out. He brought that to the company, and people who were resistant ended up being let go. Right. Yeah.
And we've all been through different generations, and there's going to be more to come. So show them your flexibility. I mean, I laugh. I worked with the guys that we were all at Texas Instruments, and they started compact computer. Do you know what it was like to tell people you need a computer on your desk, not one in the big room? Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so let me tell you what we're going to do. I am going to be over here. I will stay. Any questions you have, you can ask me one-on-one or whatever. And I want to share with you a story because this was a painful lesson for me to learn over here at St. Andrews. There was a gentleman, and I always would say, I will stay and take questions, like if it's a personal, like private, yes, that I would do this. Well, but if you all would just be in line, like take turns nicely. And so anyway, so this gentleman, he was like fourth or fifth in line, but you were behind him, and then he'd go, oh, you go ahead. And then it's like, and you go ahead. And you go ahead. And I was like, okay. And he was the last one there. And I said, darling, it's just you and me. And they already swept the floor and they got the trash. What is it? Are you ready? The man was about to lose his house the next day. He never told his family he was unemployed. And he'd been unemployed for 6 months, getting up every day, getting dressed like he was going to work and staying gone all day. Y'all don't know me. And it's like, I'm not there to cry, but it's like, I looked at him, I said, would you share with me who your mortgage company is? And he said, Bill Bank. Again, the grace of God. So we knew the guy over mortgages at Bill Bank in Plano. I said, I know him personally. Let me call him. So I called him when we got out of there. My guy said he has got to tell his wife and be at my office at 9:00 in the morning. Yeah. I don't know what they did, and it's not important that I know what they did, but it worked. And then he got a job, and he is fine to this day. Yeah. So here's what we know about looking for a job. It isn't always just the job. It was like my husband being worried about my son being 2 and we needed insurance. We couldn't afford, medication. And so whatever it is, if I don't know, Walt doesn't know, Jeff doesn't know, we'll find somebody. But you do not walk this path alone. Thank you all. Thank you, Jeff, for having me.
Great, Debbie, thank you very much. Let's see here. Let me share a few things and we'll get out of here. Walt has got an announcement. He's going to be speaking a couple times next week.
Yeah, hi, Walt again. If you're interested, I'm going to speak at Career Care at St. Andrews, by the way, Monday, 2:00. You can look it up on the careerdfw.org calendar to get specifics. It is online for that one. And the topic's going to be the job description. So we're going to do a deep dive into the job description and what can we learn from that. Then I'm speaking at Frisco Connect on Tuesday. Again, you can look up the calendar and see when and where it's at. Anyway, That topic is going to be the fundamentals of interviewing, and one of the topics is going to be ageism. And we're going to talk about, how do we handle that, whatever. So it's a lot more about the workshop and the fundamentals. So I've selected areas of that workshop to present for that on Frisco Connect. So if you're interested in that, and they are online, and are they in person? They're only in person only. Yeah, they're only in person only. So it's at Stonebriar Community Church. Is that right? Yeah.
All right, next week for us, we'll be doing open forum. We'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So bring your questions and we'll get those questions answered for you. This video will get posted to the Career USA YouTube channel. When you go there, click on playlist and then select a list you want. Every video I post goes into one of 7 different playlists. If you in the lower left-hand corner, see the North Dallas Group View Full Playlist. Up will come a list of the dates and the topics and the person who did the speaking, and you can go back and watch whatever form you want at your convenience. Just remember, the North Dallas runs, most of the speakers don't start till about 30 minutes into the video because I start it when I start the presentation. Next Tuesday for LinkedIn Tuesday, Locke Alders will be with us to talk about how to use LinkedIn for job hunting, strategies to get results. So he'll be online next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. The practice interview team is meeting in person right here in this room, Christ United Methodist Church at Coit and Parker in Plano. Come watch a real practice interview if you don't schedule one for yourself. The motto is practice early, practice often. And then next Friday, North Dallas Group here will do open forum. Today we're gonna go to Country Burger. How many people think they may go so we don't have any big a table to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so whoever gets there first, look for a table for 8 people, and we'll see you all at Country Burger. For everybody else, just a reminder, the church is still closed. I think they open sometime in August, so I don't think it's next week, and I think it may be in 2 weeks. The doors will be open all the time. So if you can, please be here between 9:15 and 9:40 so we can let you in. Thank you very much for joining us today, everybody. Debbie, thank you very much for being here, and we'll see everybody next week.